99.3 and 106, this is Radio 2. I'm Malak Harb. I'll be with you for the next hour. And joining me in the studio today is Director of Traffic at Dubai Police, Major General Mohammed Saif Al-Zafin. Welcome to our humble studios. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Questions for the Major General have been coming in on Twitter, on the SMS, phone lines. So let's take our first caller. We've got Radha on the line who wants to talk about child safety.
I often see children not wearing seat belts, hanging out of cars, and overall poor child safety on roads. I see it happening all the time. What is Dubai Police doing about it, sir?
Okay, thank you for the question. Dubai Police is doing their job. They are giving traffic fines, but it's responsibility of the parents. The problem is sometimes we see parents who are letting their children to get out of the car. Part of their bodies are out, or sometimes the child is on the top of the car. This is prohibited, illegal. We are confiscating cars, giving fines. He has to pay like 5,000 dirhams for the fine itself and for the impoundation of the car. If he agrees on the impoundation, then his car will be confiscated for 2 months. Otherwise, he has to pay like 5,000 to 6,000 for the impoundation period.
And I think the issue came to light recently after the mother who lost her life in Abu Dhabi, unfortunately, and her 3 children were injured. Now, on Twitter, Leslie Cully, who's been campaigning for child seats and child safety, asked a question that's similar to it. She said that when will the recommendations become a law? Now, for a seatbelt in the back and also for children to be put in car seats. What she wants to know is, I know that Dubai Police is doing a lot to, to raise awareness on the issue. But do you guys have an idea of when this will actually become a law?
Actually, I don't have an idea. But see, always in our campaigns, we did a campaign last year. We distributed car seats and we distributed like 300 car seats. I wish it comes in the law tomorrow, but actually this is a safety issue. Parents take the responsibility of protecting themselves and their children. If you don't have a car seat, then you have to let your child sit in the back with someone who is adult. Just because it depends. If the child is like 2 years, then he has to be on the laps of his or her mother. So the mother has to sit in the back. She shouldn't sit in the front with us, even if she wears the seat belt. No, she has to sit in the back. For someone who is like 10 years or 8 years old, he can still sit in the front and he has to use the seat belt. See, always we have to play a role model, like parents. If I don't use my seat belt, definitely my child will not use his seat belt. This is the problem that we are facing. We are not being a good role model for our children, period.
Now we have another question that came in from Muhammad Zishan. He says, vans and trucks drive really badly. They show very poor lane discipline. They carry large goods that aren't tethered properly, which is a traffic hazard. Why is not enough being done to stop them?
Okay, actually, we are doing our best. 2012, we gave more than 20,000 violations for heavy vehicles and 15,000 traffic fines for buses in general. We are doing our job. I understand his concern, especially on high-speed roads. I think, in my opinion, they have to be separate roads for heavy vehicles. They should not mix with light vehicles. And we are dealing with the RTA in order to just separate heavy vehicles from passenger cars, because they are doing the chaos on our roads. They are doing the killing, if you will. They count for 20% of the total number of cars, and yet they are causing more than 40% of the total fatality on the road. So we are dealing with the road authority just to separate them from light vehicles.
And Major General, I know that this became a big issue after the horrific accident in Al Ain recently, where 24 workers died. What I want to know is there a law here about how much load a truck can have? Because I know a lot of these workers were trapped under debris and building material that was on the truck. Now, I want to know, is there a legal weight limit?
No, as far as I know, there is no weight law at the time being. Our colleagues at the RTA, they have to work on this one because this is very a big problem we are facing. But it's a technical thing. They know how much our roads can bear when it comes to the weight gross of the heavy vehicles. But we are facing the problem that when there is an overturning of these vehicles, it causes, beside injuries, it causes death, and it causes traffic jam for other motorists. So when it comes to heavy vehicle, a concern has to be there. Again, I wish someone from the RTA should tackle this problem, because it's really a problem when there is an accident.
So putting a weight limit would be coming from them?
Yep.
We have a call from Ramesh.
Sir, actually, I am a regular road user using the Sheikh Zayed Road. I have a question regarding usage of phones, mobile phones. I see people texting, talking on the phone. Are you planning to come out with strict rules to curb this, tendency and implement mobile phone with hands-free only usage policy to reduce the accidents?
Okay, this is a good question. Now, see, I noticed this one everywhere, all over the world. People, they cannot do without their phones, either talking on the phone or texting. Now, when it comes to talking in the phone, they can do the talk without having to hold their mobile by hand while driving. And last year, we gave tickets to 44,000 drivers. The scale of the problem is big. Even if the police give tickets, still people, they don't care. They will still use the phone, because what they say is that we have been using the phone since so long and nothing wrong happened. We never had an accident. But I have to tell them, you will never know when an accident happens, but then it will be too late. You might be, God forbid, dead, or God forbid, injured. So always our role is to give an advice. Please don't talk on the phone by hand. Don't carry your phone by hand while texting or talking.
You know what else? A lot of people, they know that is the law, so they wouldn't talk on the phone. But then there are other things that drivers do that distract them. For example, texting, eating, reading the paper. Now, what's really interesting to me now, talking on the phone, you use one hand, and that's still dangerous, so it's illegal.
That's right.
Eating, on the other hand, no pun intended, you use both hands sometimes. Like, I swear I have seen people eat pasta and cereal while they're driving.
Maybe I have to add, somebody get dressed while driving, or somebody has to put hair makeup while
I've seen
driving.
that too.
Some people, they put the kitra and regal or their uniform while driving. So people, they can do many things when they drive, but after all, their safety is in their hand. They have to protect themselves first, and then they have to protect others. By preventing doing such thing. Just
recently, there were new things that you added to the traffic fine list. For example, putting makeup on, wearing your sunglasses at night. I know that Dubai Police has introduced that. Are you guys thinking of maybe introducing fines for other things, like eating or getting dressed?
This all comes to the same thing, not paying attention while driving. I could classify all of what you have mentioned in this category.
We have another question from Elena.
I would like to ask what motorcyclists and cyclists can do against the abusive action of car drivers by law. For example, the tailing the cars or bikes, or the switching line without indicating if we get harms or about harms, what we can do by law.
Frankly speaking, I am against cyclists to drive on the road, because it's very dangerous. There are no separate lanes for them. So you have to be careful, because, if you hit someone, the law says it consider the bicycle to be a car, and I have to agree with you. This is something wrong in our law. We are working on it. Cyclists should not drive on the lane because the lane is a 12-foot lane. It's barely enough for a car. Now, when there is a bicycle is on the same lane, then sooner or later he will be hit by the car, and much damage will be on the part of the bicycle and the cyclist himself. So I am against a bicycle being driven on the road because it's very dangerous.
One question that has coming in a lot, Afaq has sent this. I see people do not maintain proper distance while driving. There's a lot of bullying and tailgating happening. Also, reckless driving when people are weaving in and out of lanes. What is Dubai Police doing to stop that?
The police are doing their job. They are confiscating cars. They are giving fines. But you know, at the end of the day, we don't want to give fines just for the sake of giving fines. We want to change the behavior of some motorists. We have a program called We Are All Traffic Policemen, or policewomen, if you will. The number is 800-4353. Whenever you see something wrong on the road, you have to report it to this number. Dial this number, and on the other side, someone will answer your phone. He will call back this guy who did the traffic violation. They will not give him a traffic violation. They at least will give him an advice not to do this again.
There's a big problem with flashing your lights. You know, like if you're in the fast lane, sometimes it's uncalled for because you're driving, you know, at the speed. You're not driving like 80 kilometers and people flash you from behind. But sometimes it's because people are going really, really slow. So what people want to know is, if you are getting flashed, what do you do?
I encourage people just not to use the fast lane if you are doing 100 km per hour, if the speed limit is 100 km per hour. If you have to do this, okay, go to the fast lane and then pull back to the lane next to it. Because this lane is for the speed limit plus the 20 km grace speed.
So basically give way to the vehicles that are going a bit faster. And here's a fun question. Now, what I want to know is, I know you've done a lot of like studying physics and stuff. When people are tailgating, they're going at about 120 kilometers and they leave very little space in between the cars. So if a car hits another from the back going at a speed of 120 kilometers, what's that force equivalent to?
If someone is doing 120 km per hour and for any reason or other he hits an obstacle or another car without putting the seat belt, then the effect of this driver hitting the dashboard or thrown out of the car will be like the effect of someone is falling from the 19th floor of a building.
Wow.
Yeah.
19th floor.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of questions coming in still, so let's take another call.
The question I want to ask is there a law that in zebra crossings, a car should give way for pedestrians? Because I don't see anyone stopping. They just speed across like it's an F1 race or something.
Okay. Actually, we have some zebra crossing controlled by traffic signals. So when it's controlled by traffic signal, then you have to abide to the law. When it's red, you have to stop. When it's green, you have to proceed. But I have to agree with you. We have some zebra crossing not controlled by any signal. As a driver, if you see a pedestrian just starting to cross, just let him cross. By pointing to the other lane just to slow down. I don't want him to cause a trap for the pedestrian, for other motorists. Now, if I speak to the pedestrian, don't cross an uncontrolled zebra crossing if you see cars. Just don't. Just wait until all the cars have come to a complete stop, then proceed. Otherwise, because it's unsafe, in my opinion.
And back to our original point that all zebra crossings should be monitored, because that's what will solve the problem.
Absolutely.
You heard it right here on Radio 2. If you do feel like you guys need more cops on the road, more monitoring, please do get in touch with us. And Major General Mohammed Saif al-Zafin, thank you once again for your time and all the information. Daisy is up next after the news.